laws. If Elon says, hey, I'm seeing in my, system that there's not a lot of Bitcoin around and that we can drive this price up to 60,000 and bring in like short covering, and, the guys at home will start buying because it's going to 100 and you got to play, they can do that and it's legal. There's nothing to stop them. They can do whatever they want. And, the reason we have government is because people can't be left their own, I'm an anarchist by nature, but if I really believe that people had good intent, and I don't carry a gun, all these people talk about guns and owning a gun and wanting to live in the Wild West where we're going to be shooting at each other. No fucking thank you, dude. I want things to go better for me or not worse. Lou, you're up, buddy.
That was interesting. I had a lot of thoughts on that, but you hit a lot of points. So when I said money, when I would talk about money, like not necessarily Bitcoin or Ethereum or a fiat currency, but just what money's role is as human beings in a society, right? And in that sense, money is a way to facilitate interaction and beneficial interaction between people. There have been many types of money, right? And money, fiat currency, at least for the last, 5,000 years or so, have been backed by gold, right? Whether you're talking about gold, whether you're talking about fiat currency, whether you're talking about cryptocurrency, you're talking about people, you're talking about something that is a belief system that's dispersed among people, right? Money, paper bills don't have any actual value because you can't eat them, you can't drink them, right? Gold, same way, right? Gold is rare.
Wait, I got to correct you.
No, let me finish.
Correction. We made a point that I disputed. Go on.
All right. So gold has some value. Gold has some value in like creating things, like it's a metal. So it has some value there. But in terms of the price and the value that we give it, that is totally based on, I think gold is nice. You think gold is nice. So if I buy it at 10, you might buy it at 12. And then it just keeps on going up, right? So these are all, human beings are storytelling creatures. We understand things in stories, right? So we tell ourselves a story about that this dollar is worth something, so I'll accept it for a coding project that I do. And then I can take that dollar and go to the store and get a sandwich with it because the sandwich person believes that story too. And on and on and on, right? Now, the problem with fiat currency and the problem with gold is that we've seen throughout history that there have been times when because something is going on in the world geopolitically, because the government is in major debt and prints more money, that story of the value of your fiat currency, your dollar, your baht, your yen, your British pound, whatever, might deflate and go to zero right before your eyes. So you could work all your whole lives, have all of these savings in US dollars and yen and all that kind of thing, and that goes to basically zero in a matter of a week. Right. And we see this right now. We see this in Venezuela. We see this in Nigeria. Like their paper currency, their currency is basically useless. So they're
gotten that bad. I haven't followed this. Nigerian inflation gotten that bad.
Yes. I mean, that's what I was hearing, like, recently, because
I know Nigeria.
Yeah, because of all of the turmoil. And when you have war and we have these kind of things, money kind of goes out the window.
Nigeria needs high oil. Nigeria is a country that needs $50 oil. Nigeria,
it does. It does.
Beautiful.
It does. Same thing with Russia. But,
Russia's same, yes.
And so the thing about it is that, like, if you have a currency that can be, whether you're Joe Biden and you're doing it for good and you're printing all this money so you can give it to people, or whether you're printing so much money because you're trying to pay back war debts, whatever, it doesn't really matter, because that means that your store of value as a citizen, right? I have $5,000 of Venezuelan bucks, right? That $5,000 might give me a loaf of bread when a year ago it could give me a down payment on a car, right? So that store of value is very much based on whatever your political system is doing, right? What cryptocurrency allows, and this is really important, what cryptocurrency allows is a global currency system, right? Anybody with an internet connection can have a store of value that they can be pretty sure will maintain its value throughout time. Okay. And why is that? That's because Bitcoin is scarce, right? Unlike US dollars, you can print as many as you want. Unlike yen or any of those other things.
This goes back to the points we disagree on. There's two.
Okay. So let me finish. So Bitcoin can be, to me, can be a pretty safe store of value, because when you're looking in the future, right? When you're looking at people who are 14, 15, 16 years old, or even 10, 9 now, they spend a comparative amount of time on their devices, on their computers, on their phones, as they do out in the real world. I do the same thing. And I do the same thing too, especially now. So they might send 10 times more Venmos than they ever do give someone some cash, right? So when we look into the future, I
love Venmo. I agree on Venmo.
I know Venmo, Cash App. So when we look into the future, okay, right, does it make sense now to own some gold or something like that as a store of value that we know is going to be there, or would a digital currency where people spend more of their time? If you think about something like, I love the idea of like an in-store app, right? If you're playing a game on your phone and they ask you, hey, want to level up for $2? If you've already you've been playing it for the last month and you want to be better at it, why not do that, right? So you could have digital currencies for all different types of websites, for all different types of artists, that like you can trade directly from my crypto wallet to your crypto wallet, and you don't need to have a USD, you don't need to have a TD Bank, a Bank of America, anything mediating that. And I know like now I'm going off, but I think the most important thing is that it's a global store of value that's available to all human beings. So whether we might not need it in the US and in Britain, right? We might feel comfortable with the dollar and the pound. But if you're in Venezuela, you might feel very differently about that. And so you might want to have a place to store your value, maybe, so, and then you can trade it for USD, at a later time. That it gives people flexibility, I think.
Nico, do you want to make a comment? Do you want to?
Yeah, I see where Louis is at, to be honest. Everything he's saying is correct, but the thing is, we don't have an equal starting point. If everybody in the world was given one Bitcoin, okay, let's do this, right? But we don't have that situation. So basically, we're in a situation where we have 90% of, I don't know what the actual stats are, but there are, like, you can see what wallets hold what. But basically, I guess I'm kind of bitter because I knew about Bitcoin when it was $1. I listened to this podcast episode by Steve Gibson and Security Now, and I was in London and I was listening to this guy talk about Bitcoin, and he's like, they're talking about the tech, and it says it's one Bitcoin for $1, and I was, get lost, And then I had I tried mining a bit when it was, I think it was $1, and I had my laptop on. I had a Dell XPS something, and I ran it for about 5 hours, and I'd gained 0.00001 BTC. I thought, this is just a waste of my electricity bill, and I shut the thing off. Lo and behold, it went up to $900 in the next year or two or something like that, and then you just think, I'm not getting in now because it's going down and stuff.
Well, that's stable. I mean, that's the stable value.
But isn't that something like that? That's the storytelling aspect. That's the beauty of being a human being, and the storytelling aspect of like how we understand things. That a Bitcoin at one point was worth $0.00001 or cent, whatever. Now it is worth almost $60,000 per coin, right? So we can see the power in a story that's picking up steam, in a story that's going to pick up steam more and more as people spend more and more in the digital world.
My turn to debate. It's my turn.
Go ahead.
So